Hello everybody, welcome back to a brand new video. My name is Nalo, and today a little bit of a different video for you guys. Wanted to experiment with this idea for ranking major stickers instead of what I would normally do. In this video we went ahead and made a tier list of all of the Paris holos and which ones I think are the best and most optimal. And I kind of broke down my reasoning for all of them. If you like this format better for ranking stickers or for ranking investments, let me know, and I might make more of these in the future. But anyway, one quick word from our amazing sponsor GamerPay, which currently has 0% fees for buyers and sellers using the GamerPay wallet, by the way. Great site to trade on at the moment, but we'll take a quick look at GamerPay and then we'll get straight into the video. This video is sponsored by GamerPay, the best place to buy and sell CSGO items. So the first and most important thing that you need to know about GamerPay right now is that they actually have 0% fees using the GamerPay wallet, which means you can trade your items out on GamerPay completely for free. Another super cool feature of GamerPay that I absolutely love is the ability to get a 3D shop, which allows buyers to check out all of the items that you're selling on GamerPay in an environment which lets you kind of view what the item would look like in game. GamerPay also has a lot of settings to improve your experience. For example, you can compare items on GamerPay to their buff prices, which I really like. When you're checking out an item, you can see a full breakdown of all of the qualities of the item and the seller, and you can even get some chances to win some items just by completing some tasks on the website. It's really easy to buy and withdraw items from GamerPay. Just find the item you want, do the trade offer, and then boom, the item is in your inventory, ready for you to go use and flex on your silver teammates. But besides all those really cool features, you should definitely be using GamerPay right now just because of their fee structure alone. 0% fees for buyers and sellers using the GamerPay wallet is a great deal and puts GamerPay ahead of so many other markets. Speaking of sellers, there's a myriad of great features for you as well. For example, you can make the items that you have listed follow the buff price of the items so you don't have to monitor them as much. You can also view the analytics of certain items to see how they're performing. So with all these great features and more, it's really a no-brainer. You can visit GamerPay using my link in the description below. Okay, so the way that this tier list works is that we're going to have the top tier be sort of optimal stickers, which I think are stickers that have at least some unique qualities that make them more of an optimal investment, where there's basically at least one specific reason that sets that sticker apart. And the bad tier is just kind of stickers that I think are sort of overlooked and aren't really going to have very much prominence for a long time to come. Alright, so starting off here we have the Gamer Legion Holo. Now this one I actually really like, and I think it is actually going to be an optimal sticker to invest in. While it isn't the most expensive sticker from Paris or even from its own capsule, the big thing about the Gamer Legion Holo is that it has a very unique holo effect. We've seen it a few other times in CSGO, but not that often with tournament stickers. The sticker also looks fantastic on a myriad of craft, which I believe will make it popular for the casual buyer and for investors. Going forward, there should be a lot of demand for this sticker. Also, Gamer Legion did have a very good performance at the Paris Major, although I don't think that's going to be super important because their star player actually plays for Navi now. But yeah, I think the Gamer Legion Holo is definitely an optimal choice here. Alright, so for the Fluxo Holo, I'm kind of bordering between optimal and solid. I'm going to go ahead and put it in solid though, because the sticker is just like, the sticker is very good, don't get me wrong. I do like it a lot. It does sort of have this unique factor where it's sort of more of a line art, if that makes sense. So for skins that have more artwork on them, the Fluxo sticker is kind of decent because it doesn't really cover the whole artwork. But I think the main thing holding the Fluxo sticker back is that the holo effect on it is just kind of weird. And on the skins that you would usually craft the Fluxo Holo onto, it kind of more blends into the skin rather than sort of standing out and making it look better. So I'm not going to put it into optimal for that reason, but I do think it is still a really solid sticker. It's very good looking. I believe it's the second most expensive from the Contenders capsules, so there is still a lot of demand behind it. Alright, so moving on to the Complexity Holo, I think this one is a little bit underrated, although it is a very thin sticker. I've seen some people talking about the golden version of this sticker and that being a really good investment because it's just sort of this simple star design. But I'd like to remind everybody that the Complexity star design has already existed for a while now, so the gold sticker is not really anything too unique. As for the holo, I actually think it has a little bit of a better quality than the gold version because the blue coloration on it actually helps it stand out when it's crafted onto items. I do think it's a little bit of a sleeper pick. I think a lot of people would probably put this in like not great or bad just because it's a very thin sticker, but I'd probably actually put it into okay. The blue coloration that this sticker has is actually a really unique one. It's a nice like solid blue all the way through, sort of like the Movie Star Holo or the Titan Holo even, but again it's a very thin sticker, so generally those are not super popular. Alright, the Phase Holo is also going to go into the okay tier. That one's fairly straightforward. I think this is actually one of the best iterations of the Phase Holo that we've had of all time. Out of the borderless versions of the Phase sticker, I think this is the best one. The logo's a decent size. It has a nice looking holo effect. It's obviously red, so it goes on a lot of different crafts. However, I don't think it's really going to be that optimal of an investment. Due to Phase having so many other iterations, I just don't really think that it has the ability to be super successful. Alright, the Liquid Holo. Now, although I'm a huge fan of Liquid, I'm going to actually have to put this in not great or even bad. I'll probably go with not great. I don't think it's the worst sticker from the Paris Major, but I also don't think it's very good at all. The main thing holding this holo back is that it has all of this like white space in the middle of it. If that white space was removed like for the Stockholm holo, I think this could actually be a pretty solid sticker, but all that white space just looks really bad and it kind of detracts from the overall sticker. The holo effect on it does look nice, it's just kind of totally hindered by all that white space. Alright, moving on to the Greyhound holo, also going to put this one in not great. The Greyhound holo does have that fire and ice effect on it, which is kind of nice. The problem is that the actual part of the Greyhound holo that is actually holographic is actually really thin and doesn't really show up that well. And like the Liquid holo, it has a ton of white space, which again detracts a lot from the overall holo. Okay, the Mongols holo is next. Now this one doesn't have the same problem with the white space. It definitely could have, because it does have all that like negative space on the top of it. The main problem with the Mongols holo is that it's really small and also kind of thin, so it doesn't really look that great. However, I do love the holo effect on it. I think the holo effect on this sticker is absolutely gorgeous. For that reason, I'm gonna put it in not great. I think this could maybe be a little bit of a sleeper hit because the holo effect is just so unique and so cool. It's nowhere near like the upper tiers of the list here, but I don't think it quite deserves bad, although it is thin. Alright, the 10x sticker, obviously an optimal investment. This is going to bring you so much money, so much profit. Okay, yeah, that's obviously a joke. We're going to put this in bad. The Ends holo here is probably one of the worst stickers from the entire Paris Major. It's super cheap for a reason. Lots of negative space on the sticker, and this time instead of it being white, it's actually black negative space. Again, the holo effect on the end sticker is sort of thin, and it's sort of a lackluster holo effect as well. While I do think that this is one of the better iterations of the Ends holo that we've had so far, it just doesn't really look great. I would avoid this one for sure. Okay, next up we have the Furia holo. This one is going straight to the optimal tier. In fact, I'm going to put it ahead of Gamer Legion as well. And there's a few reasons to really love the Furia holo from this major. For one, they actually enlarged the logo, so the previous Furia holos that we had that were borderless actually were smaller than this one. This one's actually a bigger logo, and that is better for crafting and better for casual and investors. But also the holo effect on this Furia holo is absolutely insane. It is super, super unique. There's no other sticker in the game that pretty much even looks similar to this, so that's a huge factor for it. And this sentiment is also shown in its price. Its price is also doing very good right now, despite the sale still going on. This is a banger pick for a sticker if you want to invest into it, in my opinion. I don't think the Legends capsule is going to be the most expensive sticker capsule or anything like that. To really show off how unique the sticker coloration actually is, there's actually some crafts in the game that basically look like they were made for the Furia holo to exist. That's how good the holo effect actually is. The UMP Wildchild, for example, is one of my favorites. This one is just complete sauce. It is so clean. Alright, so the Fnatic holo is a little bit of a weird one. There were a lot of people talking about its application rate and that maybe making it a really good pickup. And recently, I believe it's also kind of gone up a little bit in price. The Fnatic holo is definitely a very unique case here. I think there's been a little bit of manipulation going on with some YouTubers talking about this, for example. Personally, I don't think this sticker is very great. The high application rate, again, kind of just shows that it has a lot of that casual demand. I think in terms of Paris, there's just a lot of stickers that are better than this one, so there's not really a huge reason for investors to pick it up. But I would maybe pick up a small amount of these at least, just in case. Despite its high application rate, its price performance has been okay, a little bit better than you'd expect. So I'm going to put it into the okay tier for now. It's definitely close to the not great tier though. And then in the okay tier, I'm going to go ahead and move Phase above Complexity, and I'm going to keep Complexity above Fnatic just because Complexity is a little bit more unique. Okay, moving on to the 9 holo. Again, this one is very popular right now. One of the more expensive stickers from its capsule. This one I'm going to go ahead and put into solid. I don't think it's above Fluxo, but I do think it is still a solid pickup. It does have a nice big logo. It does have a really cool looking holo effect, and it's a pretty minimalist, simple sticker, so that also works in its favor. But I think the main problem with the 9 holo is that it is just sort of a little bit dull. If you remember from the beginning of the Paris stickers, the 9 holo was actually reworked. It didn't used to look like this. It used to have a lot more negative space, but they sort of filled it in and changed the holo effect on it. I think the older holo effect was better. This one just looks pretty dull. However, I don't think this is anywhere near the lower tiers. It's definitely still a very nice looking holo, and I think it can be successful as well, but maybe just not quite op. Okay, the Pain holo, this one is going to go into solid, and it's going to go above Fluxo for me, if it would let me move it over there. But yeah, the Pain holo I think is really close to optimal. It's not quite there. I think the Gamer Legion holo is a little bit better. It's mainly red and yellow, which means it looks really good on crafts that are also red and yellow, like the Chantico's Fire or the Welcome to the Jungle. There's a lot of crafts that can benefit from having a Pain holo on them. I think this should be a solid pickup. It's probably the best iteration of the Pain holo we've had as well. The red and yellow holo effect is pretty unique. It's just a really solid sticker, and for that reason, solid tier. Okay, Navi Holo, this one is weird. This one is close to optimal as well, and also close to solid. The thing about the Navi Holo this time around that's really cool is it has this really deep royal blue effect on it. The previous Navi Holos had this kind of light blue and this light yellow that didn't really look that good. This is like the big muscular version of the Navi Holos. Really close to optimal, I'd say, because Navi is such a popular team, and the sticker does look fantastic. I think there is one thing holding the sticker back from optimal, though, and just putting it slightly into the solid tier, which is that the logo is just kind of small. If the logo was just a little bit bigger, sort of like the Kato 14 version of it, this one could definitely be an optimal tier, but in its current form, I think it's just slightly too small to be perfect. Alright, the Vitality Holo, this one has also been sort of argued a lot around all the different tiers. Some people think it's really horrible, some people think it's actually really good. Me personally, I'm going to go ahead and put it into the okay tier, above the complexity, below the phase. The thing about this Vitality Holo is that it looks really cool when you're inspecting it, since it has that sort of opal effect on it. When you actually craft this onto something, it loses a lot of that uniqueness. It doesn't really look all that great. The Stockholm Vitality, for example, I think is way better than this one. So I kind of just put this one middle of the pack. I don't really think it's anything too crazy. I also don't think it's that bad. The Heroic Holo, this one I talked about in a discussion with my friend in Discord about how this one has the same holo effect as the G2 Holo, but it actually doesn't. The G2 Holo is actually a lot more vibrant than this one. Although it has the same sort of colors on it, G2 Holo is actually a way better version of this sticker. Now, Heroic is a popular team, and this logo is not really all that small, but I think the main thing holding this sticker back is that it just doesn't really look that good because the holo is so dull and not very vibrant. It's also a very wacky set of colors. I haven't really seen a craft of this sticker that I think is really good. I'm actually going to go ahead and put this in bad tier. I will put it above the Ends Holo. Actually, you know what? We're going to put it in not great, and we're going to put it above Greyhound and below Liquid, I think. This one's just not great. I'd probably just pass on it if I were you. Just a very dull looking sticker. It doesn't really add a whole lot to the craft that it goes on. Okay, the ITB Holo. This one, again, also has seen a lot of talk thanks to its Fire and Ice effect. However, this one does have a huge problem holding it back, which is the size of the sticker. The Fire and Ice does look good, don't get me wrong, but this sticker is just super tiny, which is very negatively impactful for its craftability. This one's going to go into not great, but I am going to put it at the top of not great because it doesn't really have that problem with that negative space or with that white space. It does have a unique holo effect, but it's just really small. Probably one of the smallest stickers from all of Paris, which hinders it a lot when crafting with it. The Bad News Eagles Holo. This one has been talked about as well thanks to its application rate relative to its price, but as we all know from my misconceptions video, application rate doesn't really matter. This is once again a bad variant of the Bad News Eagle Holo. Bad News Eagles have really not gotten much love from Valve. This is just a very lackluster, small, thin sticker with a very lackluster holo effect. There is no real reason for this to have a lot of demand in this market, so it's going to go straight to the bottom of bad tier. Surprising to some, I'm probably going to put the Ends Holo above it because I think the Ends Holo actually is a pretty good iteration as far as Ends Holos go. This one, however, is not that great and doesn't really stand out from the other Bad News Eagles Holos that we already have. The G2 Holo, this one I do really like. I'm not going to put it above Fluxo, and it's probably like between either side of Fluxo for me. I'd probably put it above it, to be honest. G2 is a very popular team right now and is embroiled in some controversy. So I think just for that, it's going to edge Fluxo out. The holo effect on the sticker is beautiful, it's super unique, and it's super vibrant. It's basically just a very slightly different version of the holo effect on the Heroic sticker, but the main difference is that the G2 is actually super vibrant and looks really good and adds a lot to the craft, while the Heroic sticker really doesn't. Also, I think it's important to bring up, this sticker has not seen a huge increase in its price from its pre-sticker sale and post-sticker sale prices. So unlike something like the Apex Holo that has increased vastly from its pre-sticker sale price, this one probably isn't super overpriced comparatively. So a solid choice. I don't think it's as good as Pain or Navi in terms of its holo effect and stuff like that. It is a little bit random, but it's a very good looking sticker and it can fit on a few different crafts. The Monty Holo. Okay, this one is pretty close to bad tier. I don't think it is bad tier though. I think it's just going to probably go in not great tier. Interestingly, this is pretty much the only sticker from all of Paris that has any sort of green holo effect on it, which does give it a small level of uniqueness, but unlike anything in the OK tier, I think the main problem with the Monty Holo is that the design of the logo is just a little bit too much going on. It doesn't really have that minimalist look that a lot of people like, and it's just sort of random. It kind of looks like a trident, I guess, but I think it's supposed to be like a castle or something. I don't know, very odd sticker, kind of out of place. Probably gonna throw this into not great tier, and it's like bordering in between like the Heroic and Liquid Holo in my opinion. I'd probably put it like here, probably below ITB, just because of the fact that it has some green on it. That is sort of a rare color to see. The OG Holo, this one, again, suffers from the same problem as the Liquid Holo. A lot of white space on the sticker. Now, I do think that the white space on the sticker is utilized a little bit better. Instead of it filling in like the spaces that it isn't Holo, like on the Liquid, it actually is used to just write out OG, which I think is kind of nice. Again, though, very small logo, so that does hinder it a lot. The Holo effect on the sticker, though, is really nice. I would probably put this like pretty close to the top of the not great tier. Really close to beating ITB, I think, but not quite there. But it's not incredibly unique. You know, we have like the 9 Holo, the Fluxo Holo, the Gamer Legion, which all sort of have that sort of Miami purple effect on it. And I think all of these stickers do a much better job of utilizing it than the OG Holo does. Forza Holo, I personally really like this one. I think the new Forza logo is really cool looking. Fortunately, not a super prominent team. Unfortunately, a relatively small sticker. And unfortunately, a pretty generic Holo effect. The red and white is sort of seen a lot. This one I'm going to throw into bad tier, but I think it's probably the top of bad tier. This one could maybe be a little bit of a sleeper, but I've already made crafts with this as a 4X, and I just don't really think it's that good. This one I could probably change as time goes on, though, depending on what crafts I see and things like that. Okay, the NIP Holo, this one is really, really trash. They, again, not really giving a lot of love to this sticker. Like the Navi Holo, this one has a deeper royal blue comparatively to the previous variants of this sticker, but I still think this sticker is not great. The colors on this Holo are dull, they don't really match that well. I would even go as far to say that the lighter yellow and lighter blue actually were a better combination than this variant of it. This one is almost certainly going into bad tier. I think it's better than the ENCE Holo and better than Bad News Eagles, but probably worse than Forza. If it maybe had different colors for its logo, I think it could be pretty successful, but this changeup is not really going to help it very much. Alright, Blast TV Major stickers, I'm pretty obviously going to go to the end of bad. I don't think anyone's going to be disputing this one. This is probably one of the worst tournament stickers we've ever had. A lot of negative black space on it. The Holo effect on it is actually kind of cool. The sticker is just such a detailed mess that it doesn't really come through that well. And then the last two, I mean, these ones are very obviously going to go straight into optimal tier. I'm going to throw both of them up here real quick, and we'll kind of move them around appropriately. I think the mouse is really close to being the best option, and I'll talk about that a bit in a second. But I think all three of these stickers, Mouse, Furia, and Apex, are sort of interchangeable. They all have really, really cool, unique properties that make them look very, very good. And they're all respectively from different capsules, which I think is pretty interesting as well. Here, and then Furia here, and then Apex there. I think that's what I'd go with. They're all very nice looking, have a huge amount of investor demand behind them. They all look absolutely fantastic on crafts, all have nice, decent sized logos. They aren't really thin or anything like that. They've all got relatively minimalist designs. They're just the peak of sticker creation, really. So to delve into Mouse a little bit and why I think it's so good, a lot of people have brought up how the Stockholm Mouse looks so similar to it, but as we've seen with the price movements over the course of the Paris Major, the Stockholm Mouse Holo has actually increased a ton in price, and so has this one. And that's just because there is so much market demand for a sticker like this. Simple, nice, borderless, kind of this cool little heart design on it with a great Holo effect and a lot of matching crafts to go with it. Just a huge amount of market demand in general. It's a very attractive prospect to investors, very attractive prospect to the casual buyer as well. And again, I just think the biggest factor for this Holo being so solid in the future is just the fact that we've seen this Holo and the Stockholm version have so much success over the course of the Paris sale. The Apex Holo, of course, has that really cool aquamarine effect on it. It makes some absolutely gorgeous craft. I personally have a 4x Apex craft at the moment that I think is just absolutely unbeatable. It is a beautiful, beautiful craft. And this sticker adds so much to the crafts that it goes on. Nice big blocky minimalist logo with a great Holo effect and a ton of matching crafts. And this one should be successful as well. It stands out amongst all other Paris stickers, of course, as well. So guys, it's probably going to be my list. We'll go ahead and give it one more once over just in case I want to move anything around. I think the optimal tier is pretty correct. Again, these top three pretty interchangeable. Gamer Legion I think does deserve the optimal tier, but not quite the top of it. Solid tier I think is good. I'd maybe move around G2 and Fluxo a little bit. Those ones are pretty interchangeable. Pain might be a little high, but I still think it's a pretty good setup for that solid tier. For the okay tier, I think that one's pretty locked in here. The not great tier, I think maybe ITB could be a little bit high. OG could maybe go above it. Heroic might be a little underrated. I'm not really a big fan of this sticker personally. Bad tier, I think this one's pretty set in stone as well. I don't think I'd really change anything here. Maybe I'd move around the Ninja's Holo. So yeah, that's going to be my overall tier list, guys. Wanted to kind of experiment with this idea. Let me know, and I can do this for future majors as well. Keep in mind, a lot of this is based off of my personal opinion of their design, so you don't have to agree with it. Thanks for watching, guys, and let's head to the outro.
Like, sub, DM me if you need any help, and be sure to check out GamerPay. They have great deals on ENCE Holos, under $1, no tax, is a cop. Do not miss out.